Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Nathan, for being here. I want to hit upon what Ranking Member Risch was talking about with regard to the energy and development. It is, on his first day in office, President Biden enacted an executive order, and I'm going to quote it here, to promote ending international financing for carbon-intensive fossil fuel-based energy while simultaneously advancing sustainable development and a green recovery. However, here in the United States, we're attempting to do the same thing. Would you agree that we're trying to move to more renewables?
In the United States, yes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So who do you think is the highest, the state that consumes the most renewable energy as a percentage of their overall energy consumption? What state do you think that is? This is coming from the International Energy Administration's report. I'm not expecting you to know that answer, but if you know, jump in.
It might be your state.
Oh, I wish it was Nebraska. It's not actually Nebraska. We're number 11th.
Okay.
At about 25%. The top state is actually South Dakota at 50%. Yeah. But think about that. 50% renewable energy when we really are making a push here. Let's just hit some of the states around the area here. So Pennsylvania is 6.1%. It ranks number 42. Let's see. We have Maryland's 5.8%. It ranks number 44. Virginia is at 7.8%. It's number 38. So New Jersey, 4.3%, number 47. So you can see that even with the push that we have here, many states are single-digit percentage of renewable energy. And yet, you just said you wouldn't finance a coal plant, and of course, we also had the instance earlier this year where the Biden administration vetoed a $180 million IDB proposal for debt financing for Guyana shore-based infrastructure that would develop their oil and gas resources. I think 12 out of your current 12 projects out of the current active 980 are actually in that field of oil and gas or quarrying or mining and something like that. So it seems to me that if you have developing nations that are looking to become energy independent from places like Russia, that you're going to need to help them develop their energy resources. It can't just be renewable energy because that's not going to be the only thing. Is your policy to only develop renewable energy? Are your projects that you are funding only going to be green energy projects?
No. And I can give some examples. For example, in Sierra Leone, we're financing and have also recently provided additional political risk insurance to a gas-fired power generation plant to a country that has incredibly low electricity penetration to the population. It has no reliable source of electricity at the moment. This plant will be a development game changer for them in terms of providing reliable electricity. In Eastern Europe, with the energy security issues that you referenced, we've provided support through our political risk insurance and through guarantees to help the purchase of U.S. LNG cargoes in Poland, to provide diversification away from Russian gas in Moldova, and we continue to look at other energy security possibilities like that.
So when I cited that figure of just 12 are in the mining, quarrying, oil and gas extraction, are you telling me that you are actually going to be looking to expand that as far as like oil and gas, helping developing countries get more baseload energy to be able to provide that electricity as well as renewable projects?
Well, I want to differentiate between oil and gas exploration, which typically, the way that DFC works is we have a requirement to be additional. If there's commercially available financing, we're not looking at the project. We're not trying to crowd out the private sector. We're trying to crowd in the private sector. And oil and gas development typically is financed at a corporate level, and then the money is pushed down to projects in individual countries. There's not really an opportunity for us to get involved in that. What I'm talking about is provision of power, electricity, reliable heating, being freed from reliance on Russian gas, freed from the reliance on dirty diesel or burning dung and waste product for cooking. These are things that I think DFC has a role in looking at.
Okay, great. Well, I would love to follow up with you with regard to that because I do think it's important that we understand that developing nations need to have baseload energy as well as renewable, and that we open the door to Chinese or Russian influence when we don't do that, to, I think, Senator Rich's point earlier. If we can have just one more quick question, Mr. Chairman. You also mentioned earlier about trying to find the graphite, I think you said earlier.
Graphite mine, yeah.
Yeah, are you coordinating with other agencies with regard to those critical minerals to be able to develop, say, batteries, technology? Is that coordination with other people to target those?
Well, thank you for the
Other
question,
fellow
because that's directly on point for the graphite mine in Mozambique. The Department of Energy is financing a processing facility in Louisiana, which will be an off-taker of that mine. So, yes, is the answer to your question.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Mr. Nathan.
Thank you. Senator Menendez.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.